Hello, my name is Andrew Aslin, and over the past 4 or 5 years, I've grown a major interest for physical therapy and psychology, and there's a couple reasons for that. To start off, the biggest reason being is myself, my own experience going through the injuries. For the past 4 or 5 years of my life, I have had numerous recurring injuries that just keep coming back, new ones that pop up. And it's really taught me there's a few things. It's the whole recovery process, the whole going through the PTs, X-rays, MRIs. It's as much as it has sucked, being in that person, being going through it. I have grown an interest though in it because of it. In the psychological aspect of it, and the physical aspect of it. And there's a couple reasons for that too. When I was 16, my dad passed away, and I've had to cope with that in different ways. And I think going through these injuries, he had a lot of health issues. So I've been around doctors and physical therapists and all that, and psychologists around my entire life. So I think I've kind of grown into being into that field, as it's kind of I've been around it my whole life, so I've grown accustomed to it, in so to speak. And I think one thing that has really inspired me to go into this field of PT, psychology, human service, was his perseverance. He had been through multiple surgeries, way more intense than mine. Like mine or athletic injuries. We're talking with him. He had major health issues, not on the athletic side of things, and he was a fighter, and so I have definitely, he has definitely inspired me to go into this field to help people, athletically, non-athletically, psychologically, and physically. Recovery aspect of it. I'd love to be a PT and be able to help people on both fronts. With all that said, I am a human services and psychology major, with a minor in criminal justice and a master's in physical therapy. And the reason I chose all of those areas of study is because I want to be the package deal. I don't want to just be a physical therapist or be a psychologist or a human service specialist or whatever. I want to be able to possess all the traits of each one of those things as myself, as a package deal. I want clients to be able to come to me and be able to, not just if he has an injury or she has an injury, athletically, physically, I don't want to just be able to handle that and treat that. I want to be able to handle and treat he or she struggle psychologically, as that is a major component of coming back from injury. I think human services ties in perfect with psychology, as the biggest benefit was, from that class, was definitely learning how to analyze human behavior. So with clients, you're always, when you're with clients as a physical therapist, psychologist, human service specialist, you're always with people. You're always deciphering how people act and how they behave and what makes them click, and stuff in that realm. And the CJ minor ties in well for similar reasons as well, similar to the analyzing human behavior, as learning how to read people and learning how to read their behavior is similar, pretty similar to the human services major, and they're all fantastic skills to possess going into PT and psych. As like I said, you're always dealing with people. So knowing how to handle different types of behavior is going to be vital in how you treat and how you analyze injury, mental injury, anything of that sort. So going along with that, psychology and physical therapy work hand in hand, on the mental and physical recovery aspect of things, kind of like how I've stated a little bit already. Being able to be a PT who can help on both fronts, and mentally and physically, will play a huge role in the recovery process. It'll be like killing two birds with one stone. And so personally, I have never been able to go to a PT or a psychologist at the same time. They're always two different professions. I have yet to meet someone who has been able to be that all-in-one package, which I aspire to be, and that's another reason why I aspire to be that, is because I want to stand out. I want to be able to be that guy that people are like, oh, he can do it all. He can do it all. He can help on both fronts. So anyways, mock therapy sessions in class, in human services and criminal justice were huge for me. They were by without a doubt the most helpful, I guess, assignments we did in class. It helped me to become comfortable being uncomfortable and being vulnerable, because not a lot of people love being either in front of, like, public speaking and being getting down to the meat and bones of who they are, what their issues. It's hard for a lot of people to open up. So I think that helped a lot for that. And on the physical therapy side of things, shadowing my PTs back home. I have multiple PTs that I go to back home, and athletic trainers, chiros, and so I had the multiple opportunities to shadow with them. So getting to observe patients from the PT standpoint, not being the patient myself, was an eye opener, for multiple reasons. So that was I think that helped a lot as well. Now, to highlight a couple of things about myself, I'd like to share some experience that I had at my junior college before I came here to Shorter University. So at my junior college, we had to do these things called feedlots. And basically, if you don't know what that is, it's you go out to, I guess, a farm, and they have these big football field size pits, and it's filled high with cow food, mulch, and corn and all that kind of stuff, and food for the pigs, for the cows, and all that kind of stuff. And so what we had to do was basically, we go out there as a team, and sometimes it was volunteer, sometimes it was fundraising, but anyways, we would go out there as a team, and like I said, these things are huge. They're the size of a football field, and we would have to carry out as a team these big tarps, and in the Kansas winds, we'd have to try and hold it down to the best of our ability and cover the whole football field size of cow food and pig food and whatever, and cover it with this big tarp. And then we'd have half the team stand on the tarp, and half the team would go pick up muddy old tires, and throw it on the tarp. And we'd have to do that until the entire football field size tarp was covered in tires to hold it down for the winter. And so it was an experience. It sucked. I'm not gonna lie, it sucked every single year that I had to do it. I had to do it 3 years, my freshman, sophomore, and junior year at my junior college, and it sucked every single year. But every single year, I went into it with a better attitude, and like I was doing that when I just turned 18, 19, and 20, and I'm 23 now. And the past few years, I have definitely seen myself and my work ethic be a lot better. And I think that those feedlots were a major part of it. They were awful, and we had to do it in 70-kilometer winds in 5-degree weather. It was flurries and all that, so you had to have some serious mental toughness. And even though it was brutal conditions, brutal hard manual labor, by the third year of me doing it, by the third year of me doing it, it was like, you know what? The work has to get done, so just do it. Put your head down and do the work with a good attitude. And those are words that I live by now, with everything I do, whether it comes to athletics, schoolwork. That I live by that phrase. Put your head down and do what you got to do with a good attitude, and you will move forward with what you do. And like I said, it was eye-opening. And it was definitely eye-opening, and it helped forge the work ethic that I have today, and the discipline, for sure. And so that mindset has carried over to the classroom, and as well, where it has carried over to the classroom as well, where I have now seen myself being an honor roll student for a couple years in a row now, and I commend myself for that, because it was hard work. It was mentally toughening, and it made me a better person because of it. So to cap this all off, my passion for PT and psychology definitely comes from my own personal experiences with the injuries, the psychological injuries that have come from those physical injuries, the trauma of losing my father at a young age, and the struggles that came along with that, and his perseverance, his character, through all of his injuries and his health issues, they all culminated to forge the passion that I have for going into the field of physical therapy and psychology, and wanting to be that package deal for future clients.